Wouldn't it be cool if you could have the modern conveniences and features of, say, a Nintendo DS, but in the form factor of, say, a Game Boy Pocket? So this is kind of the hybrid between a DS system and a Game Boy Pocket. And I don't know if you've noticed on my channel, I have a bit of an obsession with the Game Boy Pocket. I really like the form factor, but I like the modern abilities of a Nintendo DS. So I designed my own shell, at least the bottom part of the shell. And you might be asking, what is all that and why? It's a black masking tape I'm using to cover my finger, and the why is because I ran out of band-aids. I did this because I wanted to have the ability to have a backlit system, be able to emulate different systems if I wanted to, and have it be on the cheaper side. Backlit screens are anywhere from $50 to $75. This is considerably cheaper. A standard DS system from Japan, or at least at the time of the recording, these are about $10. Especially if you can get these that have a dud top screen. They make a perfect project system. So you might have also seen this in another video. It used to be this light gray, but I've recently sprayed the top and bottom of my build. But for this design, I wanted to use as much of the stock components as I could. Regular battery door, volume slider, and a standard battery. That way you don't have to get a battery and outsource it or find one online. You don't have to print off your own battery door. You can reuse some of these components, and I really like the idea of giving these some use and not just tossing them aside. And with this build, it's not very easy to do this, I'll say. It still requires a bit of skill to build a system like this. It requires trimming of the Game Boy or the DS motherboard. You have to print out brackets, hold the LCD and stuff together in the shell. It requires, if you want a finished shell, you have to do a little bit of Bondo, sanding, really good painting. So it's not exactly easy, but this can be repeated, and other people can replicate this build without having to struggle, like I used to do when I used to make bespoke gaming systems using the DS. So I'm hoping this will make it a lot easier for people to get into this kind of mod. So this was the first step in that direction, and there's been many iterations to get to this point. Extra Shots 1, revisions to the shell. As far as my next steps for the project, I need to solder up my button board to the DS Lite motherboard. I kind of got started a little bit, and this is kind of a pain in the ass to use, but I'm using it and I'm using a button board that I've designed and manufactured, or had manufactured for me. And I think I still need to put a clear coat on here to help protect this finish. And there might be some changes later on. I'm really wanting to maybe consider getting a Game Boy Advance slot in here. That way you can play Game Boy Advance games if you so choose. Because the DS Lite, it doesn't really emulate Game Boy Advance very well. The DSi does a pretty good job, but the regular DS struggles a bit. And it's weird because it has all the hardware to run Game Boy Advance games. So I still need to work on my project a little bit more to get to a finished state. And I'm hoping in the future to do an instructional video series on how I built mine. That way other people can follow along. I thought this might be a good introduction to this project I've been working on and seeing where it's at the moment. So stick around and maybe there will be more information in the coming months.